All right, welcome on into the NY to MB podcast. Your host Kevin Hurt and Brian Sherrard. What's going on, B?
Hurt, what is going on?
No, man. Hey, listen, this is your is this your pre or is this your birthday weekend or is next weekend your birthday weekend? Like, how do you look at it?
I don't know, man. With a Tuesday birthday, it's right after Labor Day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. This isn't. No, I'm not considering this my birthday weekend. Honestly, I hadn't even thought about my birthday too much. So
yeah, I know what you mean because mine obviously came and went.
yeah,
But it wasn't that feeling since it's not just that. It's just that kind of year.
yeah.
So really don't feel like, oh, my birthday's coming up. Let's, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, middle of the week. You know, I can't be like my wife who had a birthday her birthday was on Saturday. You know what I mean? So it's a birthday weekend. And
Yeah, mine was a Friday.
Yeah, I was about to say, it seems like every other year your weekend's your birthday's on a weekend. So, hey.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm fine with that. I mean, it's been of course, because it's a leap year, went from Wednesday to Friday. So, which I'm fine. So that means I got a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday coming up.
Okay.
Or a Saturday and Sunday since the Friday came and went already. So it's good, man. Well, happy pre-birthday.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll wish you a happy birthday again next week. But I just want to get this started, the show started. I just want to talk about sports, all sports, and nothing but the sports.
Okay.
Can you handle the sports?
I think I can, Hurt. I think I can. Because you need me on this wall.
Yes.
No, you need me on this wall.
Yes, I did. Did you order the edit of the show?
You're darn right I did.
Exactly. Listen, we're gonna do probably our favorite movie scenes would be good, right?
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah, we're gonna do that soon because that was so freaking awesome watching A Few Good Men. It's been on TV a lot as well, and I don't know if everybody knows this Jack Nicholson scene in the courtroom, one of the best of all times.
Yes.
Okay, that's all times. But I want to start out the show, if you don't mind, with a person who passed away this past week, I should say. Number 41 for the Mets, the greatest pitcher in Mets history, the greatest Met of all time. And that's the great Tom Seaver.
Yeah, I just really just want you to talk a little bit about Tom Terrific because I'm just curious as a Mets fan, what did he mean to you? Because what did he mean to you?
Tom, my favorite Met of all time is David Wright. He played third base. That's when they drafted him, when he came up, he's the captain. That was my dude. But when you look at, I've been a Mets fan since 84, I think. When I was like 6 or 7, no, 8. I was 8 years old. And I saw him, I think he was on the Reds at the time or something. I'm like, Lord, because you and I've been watching baseball and probably remember baseball almost more than like any other sport. And so I missed that part where he was part of the Miracle Mets of '69 that of course Baltimore remembers so well. But this guy had over 300 wins.
Wow.
Over 3,000 strikeouts. And he's like the only guy since Walter Johnson or something to have like over 300 wins. Because, that doesn't happen these days. And it's in one game, he struck out 10 batters in a row.
Wow.
To end the game.
Oh.
Not to start the game, not the middle, to finish a game. Tom Seaver struck out 10 batters in a row.
So from the 6th inning to the 9th inning,
struck out.
All strikeouts.
Yeah.
Wow.
So two didn't strike out, and then got the last guy, and then everybody else was they were done. It was on the Mets fan page. I guess because I was thinking about it when he passed away, because I live here. Of course, I know you. I was thinking, like, who's the all-time Oriole? You have a lot of great Orioles. There's a lot of great Mets. Orioles have been around a lot longer, and you don't have a team that you live in a shadow in here like we do.
Right.
And we're also like the child baseball team of the Giants and the Dodgers, even. You know what I mean? So our colors are blue and orange due to Dodger blue and the Giant orange. So, but you guys are just, you guys have always had just, the Orioles. And I was thinking, for me, my favorite Oriole, if I had one, would be, of course, third baseman, Brooks Robinson. But I was thinking, who is the greatest Oriole of all time? I mean, I was like, it had to be Cal by default, or you know what I mean? Well, who would that person be?
Well, it's funny because I was talking to my wife earlier, when Tom Seaver passed, and I was like, that's pretty much our version of Jim Palmer. And that's what I would equate this to. I mean, Jim Palmer, they pitched in the same era, around the same time. Both Hall of Fame pitchers. I'm sure they faced off, I'm sure, against each other in that '69 series. But yeah, this will be like our Jim Palmer. Jim Palmer is probably the greatest. I mean, really Brooks, Cal, but Jim Palmer. I mean, he's one of the best pitchers of all time, just like Tom Seaver is. So yeah.
Yeah, but he's the greatest. Like, Tom Seaver's the greatest Met. Period. You know what I mean? He's not like just our greatest pitcher. He's our greatest.
Yeah, but we don't
want to say like export. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, he's our.
Yeah.
You know what was funny? I saw a highlight when he was pitching for the Reds, and it was a ground out. He got the ground out, and he threw to first. And guess who was the first baseman?
Who?
Frank Robinson.
Huh?
Yeah. Frank Robinson, when he played first for the Reds, when he was on the Reds a while back.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I was just like, wow, that's so crazy. You know what I mean?
How did that go down, by the way? Why was he traded to the Reds? Do you know?
It was towards the latter end. And, look, we got rid of Nolan Ryan, right? See how that worked out. I mean,
but y'all got rid of Nolan Ryan when he was young.
Early, yeah, but it's still Nolan Ryan. It's not like, look what Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, but he wasn't Nolan Ryan.
But the Mets, you got to think the Mets have been mismanaged in things for a long time before the Wilpons came along. So it was just one of those things. But he's still he has 311 wins, a 2.86 ERA, 3,004. Was the highest percentage ever to be elected to the Hall of Fame before Mariano Rivera.
Really?
Yeah, he had 90. He had like 98.9% or something.
Wow, I didn't know he had the highest winning, the second highest percentage of votes. Wow.
Yep. He struck out 200 plus batters in the season 9 times with us, 1 time with the Reds. Man, it is just I don't know. He's just that guy for us. He's like I said, he was elected into the Hall of Fame in '92. But it was just, it's sad. Now, again, like people were arguing, there should be a statue there for him. But the Wilpons, who grew up, as Dodgers fans early in the whatever, like Citi Field is a reminder of the heritage of New York baseball, basically, that left. And not really of the Mets. And a lot of people have a problem.
Dumb. That's terrible.
Yeah, no, that's why. Yeah, no, it's horrible.
Your team. Hey, you can honor both. You can use it as a celebration of both.
Yeah, but we're our own team.
Stupid.
Yeah, we're our own team, and if of all the people who should have statues outside of stadiums, Tom Seaver should have had his.
I mean,
So unfortunately,
Seaver might have a statue.
It's criminal. But this is the type of idiocy that we've been dealing with.
Well, guess what? Whoever your owner is, I guarantee you, whoever buys the Mets, that's going to be one of the first things they do is they're going to put a statue up of Tom Seaver to honor him.
Yeah, I definitely hope so.
It's going to happen.
Steve Cohen. And next year, hopefully, if the fans get to come back, we could definitely do an honor of him. Because because Tom Seaver was known because his right knee would get so low when he was pitching that his knee would always get dirty. It would always hit the ground. So everybody on the Mets had like a dirty right knee. When we played the Yankees the other day, when the polar bear had to walk off.
Thank you, by the way. I'm so sick of these Yankees.
Yeah. And then we end up losing to the Phillies, who of course we can't seem to beat. But these were. Oh yeah, and I forgot we played this week, which again I had no idea until I turned the TV on.
I know our teams traded with each other.
Week. I know.
We played each other.
If this was an NY to MD week, this would have been. This is it, right?
If there were no coronavirus hurt.
Yeah.
No. I can't say that because the schedule's different, but
true. Yeah. But we wouldn't have played. I don't think we were supposed to be on each other's schedule.
Yeah.
But those games are always fun. I love going down to Citi Field South.
Stop. Don't remind me of that day, please.
I still don't understand why you're upset by that.
Dude.
You go down there, you're used to going to Yankees games down there, and there's more Yankees fans.
More Red Sox fans. I understand that. But dude, I was not honest to goodness, I was not expecting.
We're the New York Metropolitans. We have the best mascot of all time.
No.
No, what?
No, y'all don't have the best mascot of all time.
Excuse me?
You don't. We have the best mascot.
Who's we?
This is the best mascot, son.
Does he even have a name?
How many Oriole bird?
How many Sports Center commercials has he been in?
It's the freaking Oriole bird.
How many Sports Center commercials has the Oriole bird been in?
Because ESPN panders to New York, man.
They don't pander to anything because Mr. Met and Mrs. Met are popular.
Mr. Met.
Yes, Mr. Met. You've seen him.
All right, well, why don't you bring Mr. Met to Citi South, as you call it, so they can have a race around the stadium and see who wins.
Oh, of course. A ball will beat a bird any day, please.
Oh,
definitely.
Well, look, I just want to thank your guy, Pete Alonso, man.
Yeah.
Single-handedly, well, I shouldn't say single-handedly, but for beating the Yankees in extras, I believe.
Yeah,
walk-off fashion the other night. He also hit a home run against us in the second game we played to beat us. He hit a homer in the upper deck, yo.
And you know what college he went to?
I have no idea.
And I love him, and I love him to death, obviously.
Please don't tell me he went to Florida State.
No.
Oh.
No. Close, but definitely a far more inferior school. He's a Gator.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's a Gator, and I love the guy.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's embraced New York. He didn't have a great time there at University of Florida because, it's the University of Florida. So he really doesn't talk about that time as much, but he loves being in New York. He loves us. We love him. So it's a marriage made in Citi Field.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool.
But before we get into the NBA playoffs and stuff, I just want to since we just started talking about Will Ponds and terrible ownerships, let's just go straight to the football team.
Okay. Before we do that, can we just briefly talk about the other people? I mean, we lost this week.
Oh yeah. Because we went from Tom Seaver and then started talking about everything. But yes, go right ahead.
Yeah, but we lost. So we didn't even talk about this last week. But man, Lute Olson, coach of those great Arizona teams, man. Remember those '90s?
Of course. Listen, the best call I think when they won with Miles Simon. They had Mike Bibby back then. I believe Luke Walton was on one of those teams. But Miles Simon says hello, or was it? Says championship. Simon says championship.
It's something like that.
Yeah. That's one of I think it was. What's that dude? The dude who does
Jim Nance?
Yeah, thank you, Jim Nance, who does like the Masters.
Yeah.
And his calls are great. Simon says chippy chip. Like I think he was old enough. He even coached like Steve Kerr and Richard Jefferson. Like all those guys that came out of that school, and of course Cliff Robinson. We talked about Cliff Robinson last week.
Yeah, we talked about him last week.
Yeah, so I know I'm missing somebody.
Yeah, John Thompson, man, the legend.
Oh God, well, of course I'm missing
John Thompson.
I have, I don't know how you were growing up watching college basketball, but I watch everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I mostly got into a lot of sports because my mom loves sports, and she loved basketball. And the one thing I loved about growing up in New York was having Big East basketball. And I should have showed him with the towel on the shoulder. John Thompson was my mom's favorite coach in college, and she loved Georgetown. I love St. John's, so I was a Lou Carnesecca, St. John's back then, Redmen, now Red Storm, University guy. And every Monday night when we played, my mom and I would get in front of that TV and watch Big Mondays on ESPN. And that was, Big John was transcendent. I mean, dude was like 6'7", 6'6". I mean, he was a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
He took a private school like Georgetown. And I didn't know what Georgetown was, where they were located until they played basketball in the big. I didn't know they were in DC. You know what I mean? Like I had no idea where that school was. And he put that school on the map. He put so many players on the map.
Yes.
And so many guys I got to see play in the Big East tournament. So many guys that he mentored. So many people just respected who he was, not just there, but across the country. And he always fought for equality and social justice and everything. Right. He was transcendent. He was bigger than, basically bigger than college basketball.
Yeah, man.
I think he won his own championship, his only championship in '84. But he had a lot of greats on those teams, man.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, I've been listening to stuff this week, and people were making out the point that he's a couple plays away from winning 3 championships in 4 years, man, which is crazy.
He never should have lost to Raleigh Massimino and Villanova.
Yeah,
in that win, and I remember that one. I was real young though, but St. John's made it. It was 3 Big East teams in the Final Four. St. John's, Georgetown, Villanova, and somebody. And Georgetown beat us, Villanova. Chris Mullen, Mark Jackson, Bill Winnington, and they and Georgetown went to the final against the underdog. I think they were like a 10th seed. It was something crazy with Villanova and Raleigh Massimino, and then of course the Cinderella won that one. So, but yeah, it's such a 2020 just doesn't stop.
No,
and yeah, it's such a huge loss.
Yeah,
such a huge loss. But Patrick Ewing is still coaching Georgetown.
Yep.
He's hoping to get one of his, if not his greatest player. I mean, you got to put AI up there as well. Who counted him as a father figure for basically saving his life. So it's sad, and just to lose especially two college basketball legends like Lute Olson and John Thompson. But being over here, I knew and had more of a connection to John Thompson than and being in the Big East and just watching Big Mondays and those old Georgetown teams. And I remember every year when Georgetown would play a ACC team, and it was before Florida State was there.
Okay.
And I don't know when you started getting into college basketball.
1992. Okay.
So the Big East was physical. So we had like a different foul rule as a conference than every other conference. Every conference had like 5. We had like 6 or something. So, of course, during the tournament, we played these little soft ACC teams. And dudes get fouled out constantly. I mean, I would see watching those games. As most time Georgetown would lose because one of their players get fouled out in like by the second half, all these little ticky-tack fouls because these finesse, ACC guys like I don't know, Jordans and people like that always, reacting to fouls. Jordan probably still thinks he got fouled now. He ain't even playing. So, yeah, it was always so weird. And I had a resentment towards other conferences because I'm like, why don't you just play Big East basketball? Like, why,
Yeah.
What? It's tough. We're tough. Why don't you, get tougher? You know what I mean? So it was so weird back then. But, he's such a good person. And, it's definitely a loss that, 2020 just keeps giving to us.
Yeah.
So, but and it's crazy because when you brought that up, Ludosin, it's been so many. It's like I feel like I'm focused. Of course, I got the Black Panther shirt on today that I finally found, if you can see.
Yeah, love it.
And it's been so many that it's unfortunately you feel like you're missing somebody. It's like you're just like you said, you were just like, and I'm thinking, who was it? But and that was like Monday or Tuesday when that happened, and it was like, dude, really, And then Tom, and I guess I've been focused on that too. But dude, it's just 2020.
Yeah.
So, now I don't even want to even talk about the other thing anymore. I don't want to go from someone who is inspirational and strong and about change to someone who should be changed. And exact opposite of that, which is the ownership of Washington.
Oh, no, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, well, we're talking about it now because I just brought it up. So, again, I know what we've talked about how horrible the owners of all my teams are. But there is not one. No, well, Wilpons are terrible, so I can't even bring that up.
Well, Hurt, I asked you a question earlier this week.
Oh, wow. Of all the pictures.
Oh, that was.
Oh, my gosh.
That was purposeful.
Dude, then you got Bruce Allen. He's in the background.
Oh, yeah. Look
at that. Like, you're killing. This is probably the worst thing you've ever done.
It's the best thing.
How long have I known him? 20 years?
It's something like
this
that.
Is terrible.
Yes, this is perfect. So we were talking earlier this week, and I posed a question to you. Who do you hate? But I'm going to change my wording. Who do you loathe the more? Dan Snyder or the Dallas Cowboys, Hurt? And I've been waiting all week to get this answer. And it's such a tough question for you.
I hate with every fiber in my being the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay. All right.
Daniel Snyder, especially stuff that's coming out now, I cannot like the guy. As you know, I've been a proponent for him to sell the team for a while.
Yes.
People can say that he tried to make the team better by paying all this exorbitant amount of money to these free agents. But that's to me a foolhardy way of trying to win. Instead of trying to get a head coach that's good, instead of being stubborn, and growing a system and a program. And he never really did that. Didn't want to stick with the Shanahans. He had issues. He wanted his guy. He as an owner, almost like the owner whose hand he was shaking in there, since they haven't won a championship almost around the same time since us. It just they're too involved and he does too much. I don't like him. I need him to sell the team. I don't want these scandals that are coming out to, how can I put it? I mean, whatever these things coming out, they seem to definitely be true, and whatever it is. I just wish that he would just sell the team on his own without being forced to, kind of like Donald Sterling for the NBA with the with the Clippers. Yeah. But just like you just want somebody like that just to sell the team without having the controversy, because then it kind of is a dark cloud over the team. Not saying that there isn't one anyway, because due to the name changes, which he said he would never do, which now he's doing. It's so many things there that it's hard to concentrate on the positives of the Alex Smiths, of the Coach Rivera's and his strength and his cancer diagnosis and fighting through it. And of the community, backing the team. There's so many stories, so many things that take you away from that, and it's his fault. The culture that he put in that, as Bruce Allen in that, I'm glad he was faded out. Because what are his last words? Like, oh, there's nothing wrong with the culture here, and I probably lost my mind on one of the podcasts about it. Just are you that? Again, I can't even be mad at him because he sounds like he should be a politician because that's something a politician would say. Like, no, everything's fine. There's nothing to see here. We're all good. Oh, really? No, you're not. We aren't doing well here, and. So, who do I loathe? I probably loathe Daniel Snyder because he's ruined the team that I really, really, really loved and cared about. But there's no doubt that there's any infinite thing in the universe I hate. It's the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow. Okay.
Like it was like the Monstars. Against the Cowboys, I'm going for the Monstars.
Of course.
Yeah, there's not without a shadow of a doubt.
Of course.
Yeah, I even went for him in the other movie too. So.
Yeah. Oh, you did? Oh, yeah. Of course. Well, of course. I wouldn't expect anything.
In the new movie, though, I'm rooting for the guy.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, on that note.
Speaking of rooting for people.
Okay.
What is your feeling about the new head coach? Because we're going to transition to the NBA now, thank goodness. And out of left field, even though you know me, I love Canadians. A new head coach with zero coaching experience is now the coach of the Brooklyn Nets, and that's one former MVP, former Laker, former Sun, former Maverick. One Steve Nash.
The only comment I really have heard is it was just so out the blue. Like I don't remember hearing his name come up in any type of talks or anything. It sounds like the Nets kept it pretty close to the vest. It was just like, oh, Steve Nash. And then you find out that he had a prior relationship with KD when he was on the Warriors, so that kind of makes sense. But why not? Shoot, I mean, there are a lot of NBA coaches, man, that have had no experience that become coaches. I don't think Kerr had any coaching experience. Mark Jackson, I don't think he had any experience. Doc Rivers, when he was first hired, I don't think he had any experience. I mean, there's been numerous coaches that have been hired, man, without prior experience. And why not Steve Nash?
Well, I think there's a lot of. I know that people had a lot of issues with it.
Had issues with Steve Nash being hired?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, they just felt like it was kind of superstar privilege, as they call it. Like this is KD and Kyrie making a head coach instead of the process filling out, people being interviewed. It's kind of like It's kind of like in the NFL when Adam Schefter comes out and says that the Brian Sherrard is the head candidate for the Baltimore Ravens job, right? And you already know that they're probably going to hire him, but they still interview Kevin and they interview Bob and Bill and Ted, right? Which, by the way, I've never seen Bill and Ted, but that's another point.
Come on, man.
Stop it. Don't even go there. Mister, I haven't seen any movies.
All right, that's going to be our next podcast. You watch Bill and Ted.
We're
going to do a review on Bill and Ted.
Never watch it.
Why you say never? Why you say
I want to watch that movie? I'm not even talking about the new one. I'm talking about the original one.
Because it's awesome?
Yeah, no. Sorry. Not gonna do it. Anyway, going back to Steve Nash. So it's about the superstar picking someone who not even in the coaching fraternity. So people just look at it like, how come people weren't interviewed? This just the process was not. And they don't have like any Rooney rules in the NBA or anything.
And there shouldn't be any Rooney rules in the NBA.
I mean, I think now there's only like 4 African American head coaches because I know Gentry was fired and someone else was fired recently.
Yeah, but the NBA has no problems with hiring African American. There's been plenty of African American head coaches in that.
Yeah, but just people just like none of these things were taking place.
No, what thing? The owner of the Nets hired the person he wanted. End of story. Why is there any controversy? He can do whatever. He can hire whomever he wants.
I personally don't have an issue with it.
There is no issue with it.
But people are just like superstars picking their head coach and people aren't coming in to, I guess, be looked at and interviewed. They just want people to be seen. People just being overlooked and stuff.
Nobody. Look, if I'm an owner, I can hire whoever I want. I could bring in my son. I could bring in my daughter. I could put whoever I want to put in charge. I own the team.
Yeah, I mean that's the rules of the NBA. Yeah, I mean,
this isn't like the NFL where there are very few minorities in power, and in leadership. The NBA does not have that problem. So I don't want to hear people complain when Steve Nash gets hired. I don't want to hear forget those people, man. He has every right to hire Steve Nash, and if KD said, hey, look, I have a good relationship with this guy. I can work with this guy. I think he'd be a great coach. And he wants to hire him. Cool. This is how life works. Look, how is this any different than what happens in the real world? This stuff happens in the real world all the time.
Usually it's nepetism in that case. In this case,
there's nepotism, but there's also connections.
Yeah.
Dude, hey, Hurt, let me slip you a resume. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I get hired over it. Same thing.
Yep.
He had a prior relationship.
Don't get me wrong. I can't agree with you more. I don't have an issue. It is what it is. In the NBA is one of the this doesn't happen in the NFL. No, you don't get head coaches that don't have coaching experience. You don't just hire Peyton Manning after he retires to be your head football coach. There's certain sports that don't, but there's football is one of those things where you work your way up through the system, even without having too much football, even NFL experience. There's guys who never met. I mean, McVay played in college, maybe, but he worked his way up to be where he is now.
So you mean to tell me someone with no prior experience got hired into a high-profile job for an organization? What does that sound like?
Well, there was no voting going on.
No, I'm not talking about the highest. I'm not talking about the highest office in the land, but I'm talking about some offices, high
reputation work. Yeah.
Let's see. People been married to certain people. People been related to certain people with no prior experience.
Yeah, like I said,
where's the outrage with that? But yeah, we're gonna be outraged over Steve Nash getting a NBA job because he's had no experience and he's cool with KD. Stop it! I don't want to hear it.
I look at it like this. I mean, there's people in NBA who I always feel like got overlooked. Like Patrick Ewing never really got a chance. There's certain people that even got a chance, right?
No, Patrick Ewing did have a chance. Patrick Ewing was an assistant coach for years, and he never got hired. There's a reason why he didn't get hired.
Well, I mean, you could say that. I don't know what the reasons are.
He had coaching experience, and nobody wanted to hire him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But just
Sam Cassell's been an assistant for years. He's never been hired. So what? There's a reason for that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Depending on what the reason is, because again, we don't know. But the whole thing is, I don't have an issue with Steve Nash being head coach in Brooklyn Nets. It happens.
You shouldn't have an issue with it.
Yeah, because again, I don't even know honestly, and I hate to. This is gonna sound horrible. I don't even know half the freaking dudes in the NBA and where they came from anyway. Before Nick Nurse was Nick Nurse, did you know who Nick Nurse was?
No.
And I know Budenholzer, who's about to get swept, was an assistant for years for Popovich. But believe me, before he was hired, I didn't know any of Popovich's assistants. Okay.
Can I ask you a question, Hurt?
Sure, yeah.
When LeBron retires, if the Knicks came up to LeBron and said, LeBron said, hey, can I coach your team? Are they going to tell LeBron, you know what, LeBron, you don't have any coaching experience?
Yeah. Because of the owner.
What?
Because of the owner.
Oh yeah,
you can't forget about that. Because, you can't. Yeah, that would not happen. That dude, that another owner who's very special, just to put it lightly. So yeah, that wouldn't.
Well, my point is nobody's going to turn down LeBron being coach of their team. Nobody. Yeah. So,
well, no, that's not true. I'm sure, not saying that he would do it, or even if Jordan wanted to coach, or even what if Jordan decided to coach his own team? I mean, he's the owner. I don't know.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's rules against that, but I don't see why he couldn't just go down there and let me just coach Charlotte for a season. You know what I mean? So, but again, this is the NBA. I don't even know half the people anyway. Not saying that that's the point, but I don't know. I have no idea. I remember the only reason I remember when David Blatt was hired was because they brought up his whole past and he's going to coach Cleveland. And I think LeBron was coming back. He took that team with David Blatt to the finals. David Blatt has not to be seen again after that season. Have you seen that dude?
No, but David Blatt, he had coaching experience internationally.
Oh, yeah. He was there. I mean, he was. But what my point is, I didn't know who he was, and I wouldn't have known if he was coaching any other team besides LeBron.
Right.
And they named him a coach, and this dude was coaching in Turkey or wherever, somewhere over in Eastern Europe. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what? Now, not saying that his coaching experience is different than Steve Nash's or Steve Kerr. I mean, Steve seemed to be doing well in the NBA. So let Steve Kerr's going to come in here. He's going to have Kyrie. He's going to have KD. He's going to have a team that made the playoffs last season without those two. And he has a chance to mold them and to do something. So what? Let him coach.
This is like the most non-controversy I've ever heard. This is so stupid.
Speaking of controversy.
Okay.
Let's talk about these NBA playoffs.
Ugh.
So how do you feel about the end of that? Not even the third game, but that second Milwaukee game against Miami. Did you see the ending?
Yeah, I saw the end of it. Well, it seemed like they were trying to give the Bucks a chance with that bogus call
for the three, right?
Yes. Middleton clearly, his space wasn't invaded. You know what I mean? He initiated the contact. While coming down from shooting the three, he makes all three shots. Then somehow, with 4.5 seconds left in the game, Jimmy Butler has the corner, goes up for a shot. The ball is released and halfway to the basket. Giannis goes to block the shot, doesn't touch the ball, doesn't touch any part of his body except like his arm as he's coming down.
Not even his arm, it's like his midsection.
Yeah. I mean,
it was like because he was kind of going to fall into him, so he kind of touched him a little bit. And Jimmy Butler falls over, foul call, end the game.
But the thing I don't understand, how do you call, like, the shot was already up. Like, Jimmy Butler did not make that shot because he was fouled by Giannis. He missed a shot because he shot a bad shot.
Yeah, but people,
you don't call that in the NBA. NBA
at the end of the game, you mean? And guess what? That's not even.
Breaking news.
I don't even want to. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I'm going to guess. Because I have no idea. Nothing came across my phone or anything yet. Is it NFL related?
Yes.
Is it Earl Thomas?
No.
Oh, not Earl Thomas. But what would be breaking news in the NFL? I really thought it'd be Earl Thomas.
Yeah, I didn't see this one coming. But
is it okay? Is it a trade?
No, it's big news.
It's like it would be like I would take it as big news as well.
Oh, this is big news.
Somebody released?
No.
Someone traded?
No. Someone
signed?
Yeah.
Contract?
Yeah.
Like a free agent?
No.
Oh, dang. I was going to go to David.
Look at you.
Oh, so someone with a current team got an extension or a contract.
Yes.
Watson?
Deshaun Watson.
Okay, look at that. Okay, through process of elimination, I finally got there. All right, what's the details, man?
Signs a 4-year extension.
Okay.
$160 million. 111 guaranteed. So he's average. I think that's a pretty good haul. He did not want a long-term extension. I don't blame him. So he's getting 40 mil a year, which is
good for him. Yep. And he's put that team on his back.
Yep. And this is perfect for me because I think so, because Patrick Mahomes got 50, Deshaun's getting 40, which means Lamar he's not getting unless he wins like a Super Bowl in the next couple of years, he's not getting that much more than what Deshaun's getting. So
no. Well, he ain't getting 50. No one's Mahomes.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is, with
he won't the market for him. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, because if he got even if he had gotten 45, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lamar's getting 47.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So
okay,
that's well deserved. Deshaun Watson is a great player. I know we're digressing a little bit here, but I thought
breaking news here on the NYND podcast.
Yeah,
it's coming across the wire.
To me, it was a travesty. I will never understand this, and I know we've talked about this many times on this podcast. I will never understand how Deshaun Watson dropped to the 10th pick in the draft when this dude went to back-to-back championships against Alabama, tore it up in both games, and won one. What more did that guy have to do?
There's a reason.
And guess what? The Bears are starting Trubisky this year, so just remember that.
Well, I mean, there's Trubisky was in the same draft as Mahomes, wasn't he?
And Mahomes and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, well, where did Mahomes go?
Yeah, but exactly. But even if you weren't sure about Mahomes, because Mahomes was kind of like people were like,
Mitch Trubisky literally, or Mitchell. Well, he was Mitch in North Carolina,
right?
I don't. And again, how could I? I'm trying not to sound.
Be careful here. Be careful. Watch yourself.
There's been a lot of quarterbacks whom had one good year or something that people have just bet the whole farm on. For whatever reason, they decided to bet the farm on, right? I don't get why one of those persons was him. I never got that.
Remember, they traded up to the number 2 spot to get Trubisky.
Yeah, and not to diss my guy Alex Smith. And I know what he became now, but even when the draft happened, I still remember, why are you taking the dude from Utah first and the guy from Cal? I watch college football.
Whoa, wait a minute. We gotta wait a minute. We gotta go back here. Yo, Alex Smith was he was awesome, those years. And
system,
it wasn't
that he was okay. I know.
I think we're having revisionist history here.
No. Again, that one person here watched college football forever.
I get that. Look, I know you missed the college football, but I watched it during that time too, And Alex Smith was definitely the more high-profile player during that time,
It's not about being high-profile. If that is high-profile, could be Tommy Frazier at Nebraska. It's just about your system. And I'm not dissing Alex Smith. I don't mind him. I did mind him going. I and a lot of experts, but I saw Aaron play. I just the way he played. Now, believe me, he wasn't Cal Bowler. Not everybody from Cal.
That was one of the knocks on Aaron Rodgers, was that he was coming from that Tedford system, and a lot of QBs that came out of that system floundered in the NFL. And the issue with Aaron Rodgers wasn't the fact that he was the number 1 pick. The issue was that he slid so far down in the draft.
But he was, was he just a second? I don't even remember, honestly.
It was, that's what I'm trying to say. If you look back at that draft, it was those two were like the top 2 quarterbacks. Yeah, people were thinking, because remember, that dude played for Urban Meyer at that time. You know what I'm saying? I know,
and he didn't produce any good quarterbacks either.
Right. They were the most high-profile team, and he was the quarterback, and they were pumping him up. And And he played for Tedford. He was a system quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He plays in that system where Tedford always produces these quarterbacks that put up numbers in college, but don't do anything in the NFL. And that's why they did. And he slid and slid. The issue wasn't who should go number one. The issue was why was everybody sliding so much?
No, but the issue was who would probably go. They did. That was the thing. Like, who are you picking first? Okay. And then once he wasn't picked, he just slid. But
yeah, I get
my whole point is though, people bet the house on these guys after just one season of whatever success, and it could be wherever system or who. There's quarterbacks who have come out. I mean, Joe Burrow, for instance. We'll see how he does this year. Again, it's also where you go. A lot of people don't realize, yes, you can be a really good quarterback, but if you're, I still go back to David Carr. Is it David Carr?
Yeah.
Not his brother, but David Carr, who was sacked like 357 times. In or even my favorite example, Patrick Ramsey. Is it Patrick Ramsey?
Yeah, Patrick Ramsey.
Jalen's Ramsey. Patrick Ramsey, who came out of Tulane, which is actually a good pick for Washington, but because there was a head coach there who doesn't understand what an offensive line does, because in college you didn't really need one when all you did was just step back and throw the ball up in the air 250 times a game, and your receivers were always going to be open because they're better than everybody else. That didn't work in the NFL. But he getting back there getting literally beat up. But I think he would have had a really good career if he was at a place that protected him. And a lot of that goes to where you go at. Mitchell Trubisky had the offensive line. He's had receivers. He's has a good coach. He has all these things, and he has not succeeded.
Well, the thing that I never understood with getting back to that draft was that you have two ACC quarterbacks, right? So if you want to compare Mitchell Trubisky to Deshaun Watson, they played kind of the same level of competition. You're in the same conference. What in your mind makes you say, you know what, this QB from North Carolina, he's hitting shoulders better against this guy who went to 2 championship games, threw like over, I think in those games combined, he threw over 900 yards.
He went to 2 champs. Yep.
I mean, it's ridiculous, but hey.
Yep. Okay. So Trubisky
was my team who passed on him, so I ain't worried about it.
Yeah. Trubisky was the first quarterback taken. He was the second pick. And Mahomes was 10th. Deshaun was 12th. Who else? Any other quarterbacks go in that first round of that draft?
I don't think so.
That would be El Negativo. No, the next ones were Deshaun Kaiser at 52 was the next one.
Bust. I mean, not bust, bum. He was picked in the second round out of Notre Dame. I remember that.
Yep, I remember that as well.
Traded to Green Bay.
Davis Webb. Good Lord.
Went to the Giants, right?
Yeah. CJ Beathard.
San
for
Fran.
The 49ers.
That was a horrible QB class, man. I mean, other than after the first round.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs. Jeez. That was kind of. Was anybody just kind of came out of nowhere in that draft? Who else is out here? Oh, your favorite player of all time in mine. Nate Peterman was drafted in the 5th round.
By Buffalo.
Ugh. The great Nate Pearson. Now, you have a great Nate. This was not one of them.
No. Now, why does he still have a job?
Does he? Is he still in there?
In the league somewhere.
He went to Pittsburgh.
Okay. Real quick, Deshaun Watson's going to make $39 million per year in base salary on average over the next 4 years, which is making him the highest paid player in the NFL during that time frame.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
You know what? But again, good for him.
Yep.
Good for him. Let me see. Oh, notable undrafted players in 2017. Tyson Hill. Quarterback from BYU was an undrafted player.
Oh, okay.
Who else? It's really anybody else I really. Oh, there's a running back from Western State who plays for the Los Angeles Chargers that was undrafted named Austin Eckler. who's going to be a very high fantasy pick. Yeah, so okay, cool. Yeah, that 2017. Who's the? Do you remember who the number one draft pick in that draft was for 2017?
2017. That would have been Myles Garrett.
Yep, the helmet swinging Myles Garrett.
Yep.
Also, the newly minted Buccaneers running back Leonard Fournette was in that draft.
Yep.
As well. So who did your team? You remember who your team drafted?
Marlon Humphrey.
Yep, Marlon Humphrey. And I don't even know. My team usually never had a first round pick, and I don't think we didn't. I know we didn't have one here either. So that's not shocking. Yep, I don't see Washington on here. No, we did. My bad. Oh, Jonathan Allen. Okay, yeah, one of our 95 Alabama players on defense.
No, okay.
So, which of course we got.
All right,
got another one.
Well, we have to make our NFL predictions, but we also have to talk about these NBA playoffs in about 10 minutes.
We get sidetracked quickly, so that's my fault. My bad. But yeah, let's go back to the NBA playoffs because we went back to that shot. So we're gonna get all past that, dude. Milwaukee's done. Yeah. They're not. I mean, Miami has not lost a playoff game. They're 7-0. They swept Indiana, and they're 3-0 against Milwaukee.
Wow, you're right.
So how does this shape Giannis? Because this week, Richard Jefferson and even some other people called Giannis a Pippin.
Dude, I'm so sick of these freaking players. Who the heck is Reggie Jefferson? You know what I'm saying?
Richard.
I'm sorry, Richard Jefferson. Look, your only championship came on the coattails of one of the greatest players of all time. All right,
he wasn't even his Pippin. He was like,
right.
He was a Kerr.
But how dare this guy call a back-to-back MVP of Pippin? Like, shut up, dude. Shut up. Okay, look.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Have you ever once thought that the reason why they're in this position is because of him? He is Giannis, and who else on that team?
Well, he has an all-star. Middleton's an all-star.
And who else? Exactly. So I don't sit up here and criticize this guy. Also, this dude was a big man. You know, this it's not like he has the ball, even though he does do some ball handling, but it's not like he's the one with the ball. People got to, for the most part, get the ball to him. All right. Stop it. He is the reason why they're in the position they are in. That's a team full of bums. Other than Middleton, it's a team full of bums that he got to the playoffs in back-to-back years. He's doing all,
and the best record in the NBA. They had the best record in the NBA.
Right. So stop, man.
Yeah. But something happened yesterday, and in that fourth quarter, Miami outscored them 40-13. They had 19 free throws attempts to, I think, 3 for Milwaukee. I don't know if you have to change. I don't know. Again, I'm not an NBA head coach. I never will be. But man, you and I think we both believe momentum is like a real thing when it comes to sports. Momentum is like a real thing.
Oh yeah. In the words of Ray Lewis, let me tell you about momentum. Momentum is huge.
It's a real thing. We've seen it where, the Bills can come back against Houston, where you can't really explain everything seems to happen. When things get steamrolling like that, it happened. And that's it. I think Milwaukee's done. And without that 3-pointer at the end of the game, and by the way, these playoff games in the bubble have been outstanding.
Yeah, man.
I know I was talking to you the other night with Utah and Denver, the series that I talked trash about. I was watching that whole game 7, I was losing my last Coke Zero or something. Like I was holding on to that game. I was looking Spider Mitchell and Murray and Jokic. I was out Gobert. I was in that game. I was like, there's Mutombo and Malone. I was, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf and Stockton, whoever these greats were, LaFonso Ellis. It's just old Utah, by the way. Still hate the Utah uniforms with the mountains, but that's besides the point. Speaking of uniforms, okay, let me get past that. Sorry, I get distracted real quick. So good that these games are. The Lakers lost yesterday to Houston. We can talk about if they're going to have Houston. Do we have a problem? Yes, we do, just with your uniforms. Toronto was going to be down 3-0 until they got a buzzer-beating three-pointer. These games have been off the chain, man. But in saying all that, real quick, who do you have going to the East, and who do you have in the West? Just as you see now, because I know everybody kind of had Milwaukee. I know I changed mine to like Toronto, but they may not make it out. But who, as you see right now, who do you think is coming out?
I'm not changing. I'm still going with Clippers, Toronto.
Okay. So you think that Toronto's going to come back in that series?
Can come back.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. I know Milwaukee isn't.
No.
Yeah. What did I think I picked? I know I picked Clippers. Who else did I pick?
I can't remember who you picked.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Celtics or Toronto. But Miami is doing a good job. Miami's doing a really good job. They're undefeated in the playoffs. Not saying they're going to go sweep everybody. But, man, I mean, dude, I did not see them in Milwaukee. I did not see that happen. But the Clippers, they blew out Denver on the first game. And Houston, with those horrible uniforms, beat the Lakers last night. So do you think the Lakers are in trouble?
No.
No, you don't think so? I know they lost the first game to the last series and they won like 4 straight. But
let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
Every year, James Harden shows up in the playoffs, and when I mean he shows up, I mean he doesn't. So he had a good game.
He showed up in that game against OKC in the seventh game. I got to ask you a question about that.
I said the real James Harden shows up in the playoffs. That's what I should say. So don't worry, he's going to come. It may not be tomorrow. It may not be the next game, but trust me, you're going to see the real James Harden show up. And I take LeBron over James any day. So no, don't look. The Lakers were down 1-0 against Portland, and we had Hall of Fame players talking about they were going to get swept. Don't believe the hype.
That was championship Chuck who said that.
Yeah.
So I think the Lakers are in trouble. And here's why. AD needs to step up. And we all know LeBron's 35, and he blocked Westbrook like 12 times yesterday.
And he dunked on him, too.
He dunked on him, too. But he got dunked on by Harden. But Harden knew he was there. He's like, I got to dunk this. If I do anything else, he'll block it. But he can't do it all by himself. And AD, all I saw was AD getting the ball away from the post. They don't even play with big guys. Why is AD shooting the ball out there?
I don't understand.
Why is it be underneath the basket? They literally have a height advantage. It's not like Houston has Hakeem anymore, or even I can't now remember the dude's name. They had a couple years last year before they traded him, the center.
Ibaka?
No. That's I can't. I see his face. I can't remember his name. But they play small ball. How are you not AD not in the paint? His game should be right there on the paint, right there on the block. That lower block should be where he's living. And he's not. He's living 10 feet from there, 5 feet from there.
That
doesn't make any sense to me.
Shots. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to dominate. LeBron can't. Again, I know LeBron's 35. He is the best player in this series. He cannot do this on his own. He cannot. It's good seeing Rondo back, but if they play like this again, and if they go down 2-0, I'm not saying that they can't come back, and I'm not saying the real James Harden won't show up because he could. No, but AD has to show up is my point, though.
Okay, I got 3 words for you. 3 words.
Go ahead.
Lakers in 6.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I mean, I believe in the Lakers will win, but AD needs to pip it up. He needs to Robin up, okay? Because right now,
all right,
he's playing like Aquaman. So, and the old Aquaman, not the new one. Let's just get that straight. But real quick, so at the end of the game, you're shooting a 3, it gets blocked. You take the ball. There's still time left. Do you A, try to shoot the ball again because you're free because you got the rebound from the block? B, try to throw it off another player, or C, not throw it off another player and take a shot again? Which one are you picking?
Can I pick D, all of the above?
No, you never know because throwing the ball off another player. I know he was turned kind of sideways when he got the ball back, but he literally could have just jumped and shot the ball.
I mean, people turn around jumpers all the time. So
all the time.
Yeah.
Why is he trying to throw the ball off of James Harden?
I don't know, man. That was strange.
There's like 3 seconds left when he got the ball. He went up. First of all, pump fake. Hello, the league does it. Pump fake first. Maybe he didn't know how much time was on the clock. Again, there's still something you should know. Didn't pump fake. Went up straight. Got blocked. Got the rebound from the block. Tries to throw it off of Harden. Misses. I think the ball goes out of bounds. You lose the series. Why do you do it? And number two, why wasn't that Chris Paul? Why didn't Chris Paul have the ball? Chris Paul should have that ball, period. CP3 should have that ball. State Farm guy should have that ball. And I'm talking about the fake Chris Paul. I'm talking about the real Chris Paul.
Oh, okay. I'm confused. Because we know the fake Chris Paul would have took that shot.
Yeah, well, he would have did a lot of pump fakes. I mean, come on. What is going on? Why? I know people panic at the end of stuff. All you had to do is turn around and try to shoot. I don't know. Anyway, those games are great. Let's get to the NFL. Who's your MVP? And you can't name Patrick Mahomes.
All right. Dak Prescott's going to win the MVP this year.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. On MB Podcast. You can follow us on what? What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. I'm picking Dak Prescott. I think he is. I think this year is setting up good for Dak as long as he stays healthy. Of course, I think he's playing in a weak division.
Hey.
Yeah, hey.
Didn't they play in the weak division last year?
Yeah, and right. And look at the numbers Dak put up. And I think it's really going to help him this year. Remember, Dak was in the MVP running until Lamar just totally took it over. But I think Dak's going to put up numbers this year. I think in the draft, with the wide receiver from Oklahoma that they drafted, that I can't think of his name, CeeDee Lamb. I think that's going to help him out. I like their weapons, and I like the fact that they have Mike McCarthy as their coach. I think they're going to let Dak loose, which is kind of ironic because you could kind of say he didn't let Aaron loose in Green Bay. But no, I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to win it all this year, but I think Dak is going to put up numbers this year, man. So I'm picking him.
Yeah, that might be the end of the podcast if you ever said that. I ain't gonna lie.
Look, man, I keeps it real. Who you pick?
That is not. Well, I'm not picking Rain Dakota Prescott.
Okay, well, look, just remember this: September 4th, we had this conversation. All right.
Well, it's right here in the video. September 5th. You don't even know what day it is. See, that's exactly. You don't even know what day it is, and you have no idea what you're talking about. So I'll go along.
Hey, I wasn't born yesterday, Hurt.
No, it's true. You're born a couple of days from now. MVP is Patrick Mahomes. Period. End of story.
Yeah, that's the easy pick. All right.
And the right one.
All right, we'll see. Offensive player of the year, Hurt.
Can't go with the same person because that's usually how it works, right? Usually MVP and offensive player of the year are two different people. So my offensive player of the year, and I know it sounds horrible, but I just have a feeling that it's I don't. You say yours. I'll tell you mine.
Well, for this year, the offensive player of the year should be who should have won it last year and who lost by like a couple votes. Lamar Jackson.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, you can't argue with that because I mean he's had a great year. I'm gonna go with a guy who I feel like is gonna come out and have a really good year this year and surprise people. And I like I said, I wanted to pick Lamar, but that might be I'm picking Jared Goff. Jared, yeah, I know. I don't.
Hurt.
I was gonna say a running back or something, but
okay.
I just
so you gonna get on me about saying Dak Prescott?
Well, no, because that's nonsense.
You gonna pick Jared Goff for offensive player of the year?
Yeah, I'm thinking I honestly feel like this is McVay's prove it season. Like he has to. They've been so off and after that Super Bowl that I really feel like Goff and everybody has a lot to prove. Speaking of a Cal quarterback, but Goff has to. I don't know why. Don't get me again. That's why when I was picking these playoff teams, I just have a feeling about the Rams. I don't know why. Don't get me. I know it's coming out of left field. I mean, but I think Jared Goff is going to have a sensational year.
Ooh, really okay. All right, let's go defensive player of the year. Hurt. Who you got?
Well, I might as well stay on the same team, right? I'm going to pick Aaron Donald.
Of course. Guess what? He ain't winning this year.
Okay. I mean, he doesn't win every year.
No.
Yeah.
But as much as I hate to say this, and I hate to say this, there's going to be a Watt who's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, and it ain't JJ. It's TJ Watt of your Pittsburgh Steelers. Ugh.
First of all, who's your?
Excuse me. Our Pittsburgh fans out there.
Well, them. They ain't none on this broadcast. Let me tell you that.
But anyway, yeah, TJ Watt's going to win Defensive Player of the Year this year.
Okay, yeah. I mean, listen. If it's not one Watt, it's the other, right? Yeah. I mean, what you going to do, brother? All right.
How many watts does it take to change a light bulb, by the way?
Well, they're pretty tall.
Yeah.
So I'm really just thinking one.
All right.
All right, what you got next?
All right, offensive rookie of the year. We'll go this route. Yeah.
I want to go with the running back for Kansas City, Hilaire. But
Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with Joe Burrow.
Oh, okay. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. I think he's going to surprise some people. I think Cincinnati's going to be somewhat competitive this year, and I'm picking Joe Burrow.
I actually agree, but I actually picked Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I just think he is a perfect fit for Kansas City. He has no competition really at the running back spot. Shady's gone. Your boy Damian Williams opted out. He's going to show off, man, and I can't wait to see it, but I don't want to see it. Yeah, but all right, defensive rookie of the year. Sorry.
Yeah, there's only one answer for this.
Yeah, there is only one answer. We both have it,
and it's the Predator. It's Chase Young.
Exactly.
That dude is a monster.
And I hear he has been lighting it up. And
he lit up Adrian Peterson before he got cut. That's all I gotta say. He's if he again is health. If he stays healthy, man, my gosh.
Yeah.
That dude he's a Ohio State. Might be Ohio State could sweep the offensive and defensive rookies of the year. Oh, well, Joe Burrow.
No, because my second pick was going to be J.K. Dobbins. Too. He is. Let me tell you right now, J.K. Dobbins is going to have a significant. The Ravens aren't saying much.
No,
the Ravens aren't saying much. But let me tell you something. He's going to have a significant role this year.
Oh, the dude, I liked him in college, and when you guys picked him up, huh?
Yeah, he tore Maryland up every year.
Yeah, well, who didn't? But that dude, and Towson was going to this year too. Y'all play the football season. So that dude's good, man. And in that backfield, on that team, on that offensive line, that dude's he's gonna light it up. He's gonna light it up. So, yep.
All right, man. We gotta move it. We gotta move on. Who's your coach of the year?
Mike Tomlin.
Okay. Next week on the NY to MD podcast. No.
Listen, but you like Mike Tomlin. It's just he just comes.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah.
But you know what? You said Mike Tomlin, but I can't believe these words that are about to come out of my mouth. Let me throw up real quick. Bill Belichick will win Coach of the Year this year.
Wow. You know what? I should have said offensive MVP should be Cam. I really want Cam. This is crazy. Now tell me if I'm wrong. Or how you feel about it. We've had 95 people opt out of New England, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The whole team opted out.
And
even Tom opted out.
I know, right? He opted out for him. But I feel as though I don't have as much of a dislike for them after Tom left. Not saying it was all Tom.
Yeah,
I think it had, but I think because I really don't like. It's weird. It's just kind of my angst for them went down a lot. I'm not saying I still don't have it, but with Cam being there, I really want Cam to do well. And only because to prove people wrong. Like, the way he was treated.
Yeah,
I want him to do well, and I don't. And they're not going to the Super Bowl.
Well, the only problem with that equation is if Cam does well, that means the Patriots do well. So,
you would be right with your coach of the year. You just gave it to him, man.
Look, this is what I think was going to happen, but I can't root for it. You understand?
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, you can root for being right.
But yeah, I really think. Look, I don't care what anybody says, and I told you this. I told you this months ago. New England is winning the AFC East. All right,
I agree.
Okay, look, and that was before they signed Cam. I said that. So, like you said, with the whole team opting out, with Tom leaving, Belichick, I don't care what anybody said. People talking about this dude's tanking. This dude's not tanking. He has something to prove.
Yeah.
Bill is on a mission this year to show y'all I am still the best coach in the history of this game. And this is why. And he's going to win Coach of the Year. As much as I hate that dude, he's going to win Coach of the Year. All right, but we got to move on.
Yep.
All right, let's do our playoff picks for the AFC and NFC and give our Super Bowl picks.
Jeez, gotta do that already? All right. I'll run through it real quick without really explanation. 7 playoff teams, because there's 7. Pats, Bills, Ravens, Steelers, Tennessee, Houston, KC.
Wow. Okay, so we have 5 of the same teams. Here's who I have. I have the Colts, the Ravens, the Patriots, and Kansas City winning their divisions. I have the Steelers, the Bills, and the Broncos as wild card teams.
Cool.
I have KC coming out of the AFC and going to the Super Bowl. Who you got in the NFC?
Well, I got KC coming out and going to the Super Bowl as well.
Okay.
And when I was going through that order is who I thought would win the division and the second place team. NFC, I have Dallas, New Orleans, Tampa. Who's that? Green Bay. I go Green Bay. And because I'm going crazy today, San Francisco, Seattle, and Los Angeles.
Okay.
In the rare 3-team in the playoff thing, which happened in the NFC East a couple times, I'm gonna go because I don't know why this Rams thing's in my head. It just happened. So, but they're gonna be a pretty good team. I don't know why. I have no reason to think that. None. Zero. Zero. But maybe because there's no expectations when they actually do well.
Okay.
But
here's who I have. I have San Fran, Minnesota, Dallas, and Tampa winning their respective divisions. I have New Orleans, Arizona, and Seattle as the wild card teams. I have Seattle coming out the NFC to represent them in the Super Bowl. So I have a Kansas City, Seattle Super Bowl with Seattle losing to Kansas City.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to have KC in the Super Bowl versus New Orleans. I have the Saints finally going back. They get pushed by Tom Brady. Breeze has one of those years. The Michael Thomas is Michael Thomas. And I have I know Jadeveon Clowney has an inside track to go to Tennessee because, he's Vrabel and everything. But he could sign with the Saints. They're making a deal. They're not making a deal. They're trying to make a push for him. I think if he goes there and helps solidify that defense with Cam Jordan and everything, man, I think the Saints have enough defense to go along with their offense to get to the Super Bowl. And in the Super Bowl, whatever XIVVILLBBC, I'm going to go with New Orleans. I can't have back-to-back Super Bowls.
Wow. Now, what's the Super Bowl you want to see?
I want to see probably yours. No. Scratch that. My bad. KC, Green Bay.
Oh, so close. So
no, that's the one I want to see. How is it so close to yours? I was like, how are you going to tell me mine isn't it?
No. I'm saying yours is so close to mine. Super Bowl, I want. Well, I have two. The Super Bowl, because of course I want to see my team in the Super Bowl. I want to see Baltimore versus Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I want to, of course, I want the Ravens to win. But that's the Super Bowl I want to see. But if there was another Super Bowl, if my team does not make the Super Bowl I want to see, and I think the whole world would love to see, New England versus Tampa Bay.
Oh my God.
Tom Brady beating Bill Belichick. Oh, dude, I would love to see that. I would love it.
You know what? You know what's funny? I would want it to go the other way.
You want Belichick to beat Brady?
I would want Belichick because of Cam Newton.
No, wait.
Because of Cam Newton.
Cam. That's right. I forget about Cam.
Yeah, I honestly, if anyone else was their quarterback, if it was Jarrett Stidham, if it was Brian Hoyer, whoever, I feel like Cam was so undervalued, and I feel like he's only had this good year, and he's been picked on. All I hear about is completion percentage and blah 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 blah, and he shows off too much and blah, all these other things. Even though the dude had Bill Belichick listening to Kirk Franklin during practice. Hello?
What?
Yes. Kirk Franklin was playing during practice in New England. Hello.
Wow.
Exactly. That's my point.
Wow.
So I'm rooting for Cam. I'm rooting for Cam.
Cam.
There. Oh, Cam. I know he's there. And I mean, I don't have a wrong with Tampa Tom. I don't have an issue with Tampa Bay. They're fine, but I'm good. I'm good with them. They're in the NFC now. Only person in the NFC I root for, his name's Aaron. Point blank, period. So, and he ain't coming here trying to take Aaron's territory. This is Aaron's territory, and I don't appreciate him being there. So,
okay,
that's the way I look at it. So, but thank you everybody for tuning in. I know it's a little long, but there's a lot to talk about. Playoffs. Then we get into hockey. The U.S. Open happened. Serena advanced. She plays Sloane Stevens today at 2 p.m. on ESPN. So everybody tune into that. But we're also NYMD Podcast. As you see, we're on StreamYard and live on YouTube. Please subscribe to us at NYMD Podcast. Of course, we're all over social media with our Facebook page. As you can see, our Facebook page was live this week. So many things happening. Our Twitter page and also on IG, NYMD Podcast. And, of course, you could just hear us instead of having to see us. And you know what? You could do both. I mean, why not? So, and you can see who our sponsors are. What are you doing? You can see who our sponsors are when you listen to the show on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you download and listen to podcasts, you will find NYMD Podcast. And we will see you next week. And happy early birthday, B. This guy. I even forgot the go out music because you're over there just going crazy.
Thanks, Peace.